Zack Snyder clearly has a thing for zombie babies. Maybe he could do like a what-if universe of Rugrats. Zombie Rugrats. Zack Snyder's zombie Rugrats. Army of the Dead is brought to us by director Zack Snyder and stars Dave Bautista. When Las Vegas is turned into a zombie wasteland, the government decides to drop a nuclear bomb on it to clear the earth of the zombie scourge. But 48 hours before that happens, a band of mercenaries is hired to go into the quarantine zone and make the ultimate heist from a casino. Do they strike it big in Vegas? Will they make it out alive? Or do they fall prey to the Army of the Dead? Army of the Dead is Zack Snyder's return to the genre that got him started. And while his 2003 zombie film Dawn of the Dead did have hordes of zombies in it, that's about all they have in common. While Dawn of the Dead was supposed to be commentary on society and consumerism, Army of the Dead is about blowing shit up and killing a bunch of fucking zombies. They both have their merits, that's for sure, and they both provide a certain level of entertainment. What I liked about this movie was the characters and the world. Pretty much all the characters here are interesting and performed very well. With the exception of like one or two, everybody here has a purpose and is very distinguishable from the others. And on top of that, they're all very likable, at least the ones that are supposed to be likable. I can't really pick one that would be my favorite. I just kind of like the interactions between all of them. And while the movie does build up some memorable, great characters, the payoff for some of these characters is nowhere near as memorable. Now, the movie does attempt to give everyone like a spectacular death or a spectacular ending to whatever their story arc is, but instead of going out with a bang, most of them go out with more of a whimper. I mean, I didn't hate it, but it was just kind of limp noodle. And the fact that you really do like most of these characters made it all the more noticeable. But I can't really fault the performers there because it's not really their fault. That's more of a narrative issue. The performers overall did a really good job here. And the narrative's not terrible. I mean, it was entertaining. I like this movie for what it was. That being said, it didn't quite live up to what I was wanting. I did have a good time with it. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was action-packed. And there's a ton of gore in it, and I had a really good time with that. But as far as like where the narrative went, it just kind of fell flat in some parts to me. Part of that may have been the runtime. This is not a short movie. It's 2.5 hours long. I mean, that's not the longest movie out there, but holy shit, this movie did not need to be 2.5 hours long. And it's not even that like the movie drags in parts or anything either. I mean, it stays pretty high energy most of the time. It's just a lot of the stuff in the movie isn't really needed. There were a lot of spots that could have tightened things up. And while there may not have been individual parts of the movie that drug, the entire movie itself seemed to drag because it was so bloated. Also, while I understand while pretty much every character in the movie is where they are, there is one character that goes into this quarantine zone with our heroes that just doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't care what the movie says as to why this character's there. No, fuck no, that shit wouldn't happen. But whatever, it's a zombie movie, so I'm willing to overlook a few things. Now, this movie's biggest strength is its world. I really like the world that they built for this movie. You see, these aren't just zombies. Now, there are just zombies, regular old-fashioned dumbass zombies going around trying to eat shit in it, but there's also something they call alpha zombies, and these are smarter, more organized zombies. This little monkey wrench in the plan does make the world much more interesting. We get a hint that these creatures want more from the world than just brains. I get some real I Am Legend vibes in that sense. There's something more that these creatures want. The movie doesn't fully explain it to us, but I had the feeling that if this series continues on, we'll get more of that. And I'd love to get it. I really enjoyed that part of the movie. This world that they built is really cool. Also, considering the world, this is probably the most video game-esque world in a movie that I've ever seen. I mean, they're going into a walled-off city where nothing can come in or go out. They have pretty much unlimited ammo, shit tons of zombies, and there's different variations of the zombies. As they get deeper into it, there's smarter zombies, there's faster zombies, there's stronger zombies, there's even fucking animal zombies. I mean, you saw it in the trailer, there's a fucking zombie tiger. This movie's just waiting to be made into a video game if it's already not in development. They wouldn't have to do shit, it's already written. Just follow this movie's rules and you've got a game right there. It's very reminiscent of something like Dead Rising or even Left 4 Dead with the different variations of zombies. Now, while I really did like this world and I really like the fact that they hinted at something more for these creatures, we don't ever really get that something more. So after a time, these creatures are just that. They're just zombies. There's not much more to them. I mean, yeah, I think there is more to them, but we don't get more in this movie. So after a while, it does start to wear a bit thin, and as I mentioned a moment ago, a lot of that has to do with the runtime. Now, bloated runtime or not, one thing that this movie does do exceptionally well is its action scenes. Zack Snyder, if nothing else, knows how to shoot action, and the action in this movie looks great. It's high octane, explosive, and yes, slow motion at times, awesome action. The last quarter to a third of this movie is just balls to the wall, non-stop action. And it's good times all around. It looks great and it's super fun. However, by the time you get to this part, you're just kind of ready for it all to be over. And it's unfortunate that when you get to the most exciting part of the movie, you're kind of over it all. Guys, at the end of the day, Army of the Dead, while it didn't quite live up to what I wanted, it was still a good time. I enjoyed my time in this world, and I really do want to see more from this world. The interesting things that they hint at with the zombies and the really interesting, entertaining characters they created here were all a joy to watch. However, some of the limp noodle conclusions we get to some of these characters' story arcs and the kind of bloated runtime of the movie let it down a bit. Overall, it may not have lived up to what I was hoping it would be, but it was still a good time and absolutely worth streaming.
Across the street.
Yes, I know that I gave this a rating of worth a stream, and it is in fact only available on the streaming platform Netflix. I think you might be able to see it in some theaters, but most people are going to see this on Netflix. However, that's thankful because, as I said, this is pretty much just worth streaming. If you like zombie flicks and you're in the mood for a pretty solid one, but don't mind a kind of bloated runtime, then check out Army of the Dead one night, and I think you'll have a pretty good time with it. So there it is, guys, my review of Army of the Dead. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a like. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, stay sexy, Las Vegas. A few weeks ago, I covered a story on my podcast. The Jarcast Movie Podcast premieres every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Pacific Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Shameless promo over. About a cutscene from this movie involving a male stripper and his member. According to Zack Snyder, they had a scene in the movie where they said that it went too far, and apparently it was a male stripper walking around full frontal naked, and he had just like this ginormous dong with a bite taken out of it. Why? Oh, why was this taken out of the movie? Had he left this in the movie, I probably would have at least given it one level up on the ratings. Definitely would have elevated it from worth a stream to worth a rent. I mean, I get if it was like in concept stages or something you cut it, but no. How do you film a male stripper with a giant dick with a bite taken out of it, which has turned him into a zombie? You put that on film and then decide to cut it. This scene would have made the movie worth it all on its own. Hashtag release the zombie dick cut.